Welcome to Study Loop.
Hey everyone, today we're answering problem number 16 from chapter 14 of the textbook, which asks us to explain the difference between income inequality and poverty. So this is from our reading in chapter 14 that will most directly explain the difference. So I'll read out the section and then we'll go through and I'll give you like my take on the main differences between the two. So it says that poverty levels can be subjective. Actually, I'll highlight and read. All right. Poverty levels can be subjective based on the overall income levels of a country. Typically, a government measures poverty based on a percentage of the median income. Income inequality, however, has to do with the distribution of that income in terms of which group receives the most or the least income. Income inequality involves comparing those with high incomes, medium incomes, and low incomes. So there's a comparison. Not just looking at those below or near the poverty line. In turn, measuring income inequality means dividing the population into various groups, which are called quintiles, and then comparing the groups. So in the clear it up feature of the chapter, which literally asks us how we separate or differentiate poverty and income inequality, it says that poverty can change even when inequality does not move at all. Imagine a situation in which income for everyone in the population declines by 10%. Poverty would rise, since a greater share of the population would now fall below the poverty line. However, inequality would be the same, because everyone suffered the same proportional loss of 10% for their income. Um, then, in another situation, it is also possible for income inequality to change without the poverty rate changing. So this would happen um, in which a large group of people who already have high incomes increase their incomes by even more. The income inequality would rise because there'd be a greater gap between those that wealthier upper quintile and then the next quintile. But the number of people below the poverty line wouldn't change because the people below the poverty line aren't even in that fourth quintile or the fifth quintile. They are in the lowest quintile. So just to sum up from what I saw as the biggest key differences, I think it's how we measure it. Um, Measuring poverty is based off of those who are at or near the poverty line versus measuring income inequality, on the other hand, is based off of quintiles, so comparison from high incomes, median incomes, and low incomes. So there's more of a comparison factor there. It's more detailed oriented to quintiles versus just a line essentially, as it is measured for poverty. And then also poverty is based on a percentage of the median income, whereas income inequality has to do with the distribution of that income. I think that's another important key difference. And this cleared up kind of just gives us real world examples of how one can change when the other stays the same. One can change with the other staying the same, and then the other can change with the first one staying the same, essentially. So I'd say these are the two main differences, and then maybe mention a brief example or two from here to include in your final answer. But that's about it. That fully explains our differences between income inequality and poverty. If you guys enjoyed my video explanation, please hit the like button next to it. I hope you all have a nice day, and thank you for watching today.